The reason that I'm participating in this program is because a bullet in Richmond is as hard and as lethal as bullets in Los Angeles. And we got to make sure that that message does go back to the neighborhoods where the tribalism still exists, where people are still dying from north, south, or central Richmond. I know I had a direct impact on what's going on even in the city of Richmond, because I promoted self-destruction.
These men are very serious about helping the community, because we're going back and we need the community support. So if we're going to build men, help develop men inside, so that when they go back into the community, they be tax-paying citizens. We see that need. And we wasn't going to sit here at San Quentin and see our neighbors across the bridge suffering and dying, cheering, dying, cheering that God brought on this earth to die.
Them kids, they don't have nothing to do. You know what I mean? It's like don't nobody care. And if you feel like don't nobody care about you, you know, you're gonna go where you're accepted, where you feel like somebody do care. And that's right down the street corner. They're taking the sports activities away from them. They're taking the community centers away from them. When I was growing up out there, you can go to Shields and Reeds, you can go to East Shore, you know what I mean? And that's what's happening with the city of Richmond. That's why so many kids out there on these streets, corners, and not in class, you know what I mean?
So all the change in the world that may be pushed at him or he may be encouraged to undergo, it's like, off the bat, I have no place to live. And without a stable residence, somebody in the midst of change is too susceptible to be dragged back into a negative lifestyle.
You know, once they get out and get back into Richmond, they get hung up back into their old lifestyles, the things that come most easy to them. They're back on the drugs, they're back into the alcohol. And I think the real secret to success is getting the communities to come into the prisons. Because that, in my opinion, is what motivates people to change.
Today you have represented in this room, inside the walls of San Quentin, the county supervisor, John Joyer. You have Mr. Bill Lindsay, who is the city manager for the city of Richmond, the city that has been dubbed the most dangerous city in the state of California, that live in number 11 in the nation. You have an assistant chief of police, Mr. Medina, who's here in this room. This is an incredible partnership that is forming on the outside to do what we can to work with the men on the inside to create a safe, peaceful, and prosperous Richmond.
There is a list in Richmond somewhere that they tried a few years ago that employees were identified that who would take a chance on ex-felon, people that's doing the reentry program. Well, that's where we will start. So I want to have a list of employers that's already had this commitment, you know, because you got to want to do it. That's already got this commitment, say, well, I'll take a chance on the ex-felon.
In here, you have North Richmond, Central, South Side, working together. And to be able to get that message out onto the streets of the city that say, if we can do it in here, it can be done outside on the streets of the city of Richmond.
When I hear about community centers closing and I hear about education needing to improve and getting better access, I mean, these are all things that we can do. These are things that we can do, but we have to make the same commitment that you've already made.
You know, we talk so much about redemption, and yeah, you know, there's a great feeling of redemption when Martha Stewart gets back out into the community, but people don't often share that same degree of redemption when you're at re-entering. And we need to make sure that people understand when you serve your time, then you have to show the responsibility that you've made a change.
I want to be a part of it to be able to try to help some youngsters, you know, not make the mistakes that we've made. Because it's a big world out there. There's a lot of living to do.
Yes.
Instead of getting caught up in this like we are. You know, and I try to do my best to be a part of this program and be able to succeed and try to keep youngsters in any way possible.
I teach my guys to honor my mantra of put down your 45 and pick up a 9 to 5.